in the grand scheme of things, Liverpool beat Luton at Anfield. Shouldn't be that much of a story. It shouldn't be that elated. It should be pretty routine. But in the face of adversity, in the circumstances Liverpool find themselves in, with the players missing, a full 11 of senior options missing Steve O'Hare, like, this is a sign of the times, really, when it comes to this Liverpool side, because there was loads of excuses there Liverpool wanted, and there was loads of reasons to come out and say, oh yeah, we could have won, but this and this conspired against us. We go 1-0 down. We weren't really at it for 45 minutes, I think it's fair to say, but we come out second half FC once again with all those players missing, with all those factors against us, and absolutely turned it on. Like, this is a team now that's built differently. This is a team now that's built like a team that could win the Premier League.
Yeah, I think we're not accepting excuses anymore, to be honest with you. It's coming to the point where we are having the options, as you've said, to take all these way out, these sort of, oh, well, this happened, but this has happened. And I think we're, as Jürgen said, as long as we've got 11 men to put on the pitch, we're going to give that a go and do the best we can. I feel like someone's heard that and gone, all right, then prove it. We'll take this player off you. We'll take this player off you. And we come back again and again and again. And it's, without wanting to sound too ahead of myself, it's title-winning form. Sort of, if you can win ugly, if you can win when you haven't got all of the players that you need, imagine what you can do when you've got them all back for the run-in and everything like that. And I feel like we're only, if this is the weakest we get and we're still winning, be it only at home to Luton, I feel like we're only going to go from strength to strength from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in terms of sort of like statement performances, right up there for me, because, as you say, it is only Luton at home, and they're not to be disrespected. They've given out many a bloody nose already this season, and rival fans will, yeah, exactly. Yeah, rival fans will look at, and we might be their biggest sort of scalp today as well. To be honest with you, they've given a few frights along the way, but they've definitely given a few bloody noses as well. But yeah, rival fans will look at this and go, "Why are Liverpool fans getting so over the top, or why are they getting so carried away with beating Luton at home? It should be routine." And they're right, it should be routine. But as I say, given the amount of players we are missing, given the fact we go 1-0 down in a game, and given the fact it wasn't really clicking for 45 minutes, to come out in the way we did and with the personnel that we did and really step up to the plate is just testament to how ready this side looks to do something very, very special. Because these sort of wins tonight for me, and it would have been easy just to sort of do a job done victory and find a way victory and scrape over the line with a corner, ahead of him a corner and a penalty maybe. And I took it, by the way, all 100%. Day long. But the fact and the manner in which we've done it and the manner in which we stepped up to the plate is testament to just how good this side is. And it's one that's got all the hallmarks and it's got all the credentials to do something very, very special. Because when you're looking at lads who aren't really the star attraction, like, we've got the star of attractions, both of the star of attractions on the treatment table, but you've got other lads like your Gakpos, your Harvey Elliott, your Louis Diaz's, all good players in their own right, but stepping up in the manner that they did tonight, that's really, really special. Plus, you tie into that your Conor Bradleys, your Joel Quantas, some of the lads who came off the bench. You got Jadon Danns making his first team debut. Like, what Jurgen Klopp has built probably for the next guy is just phenomenal. But right now, he's enjoying the fruit of his labour himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the future's looking really, really bright with all the promising players we've got and the project that we're currently got going on right now. I think that with all of the promising players, we had all the enthusiasm there today. Not necessarily always, especially in the first half, not always the cohesiveness we wanted, but the enthusiasm was there. I think sometimes our press was a little bit off sometimes. I think the willingness was there, but not always people pressing at the right time. And we did win the ball back a lot, sometimes through luck rather than through technique necessarily. I think willingness to try and win the ball back up from either like sticking a leg out and blocking it, or whether it was just a lucky deflection that knocked it into the path of ours. And sometimes you need luck and things like that in a game as tentative as the first half was, especially when we went behind. But I think it was more of what our attack didn't do in the first half rather than what our defence kind of let us down or anything like that. I think their goal, you can't really blame anyone for it. I'm sure we're going to get to the goals and things like that further on, but just in terms of like a tale of the first half, when you compare it to the second, it was just kind of, we could have had that game sewn up, and we tried to. We came out at the beginning and we tried to hit them. Like all guns blazing. Diaz, a few chances really early where he gets the ball stuck under his feet and can't really get it out. Same with Harvey Elliott, a few chances where just the ball doesn't fall exactly where he needs it to get a chance away. And I think sometimes we snatched at the ball as well. We were a bit too eager to get the game wrapped up. We were going for the wonder goal rather than maybe taking an extra touch, having a little look round and just trying to play that extra ball.
Yeah. It's interesting, actually. I think you're right, and it's almost as if Liverpool came out with a game plan of we need to blow these away.
Yeah.
Because if we can blow these away, we might be able to get a bit of rest and sort of saves ourselves for the weekend. Maybe Liverpool, maybe the mantra from Jurgen Klopp, maybe the message all week was go out there and get this game won as quickly as possible. But ultimately, you had to sort of hang fire and reassess that as the game was going on, which Liverpool have been really good at, solving problems mid-game. We've done it again today. But in terms of sort of squandering the chances, you're absolutely spot on, because it would have been easy to get a little bit downbeat and sort of let the frustration get the better of them, because Harvey Elliott, Luis Diaz, Gravenberch, Gakpo, you could maybe throw into that mix as well, all had relatively good opportunities, whether it be to provide an assist or to actually score the goal, and they all wasted them in sort of different ways. So
at it, mate,
exactly, a few times that happened, but the fact that none of them, Luis Diaz is the leading example in and amongst this, by the way, none of them allowed that to sort of dictate or determine how their performance was going to be, again speaks volumes of where they're at personally in their career, and also speaks volumes of the coaching staff and Jurgen Klopp and his ability to get them in at half time and change the entire direction of travel of that game. Ultimately it's a wonderful, wonderful victory, and it's a victory that tells our rivals and rival fans, etc., that in spite of all these key players missing, because you said it a moment ago, like, in spite of all these players missing, if this is as bad as it's going to get in terms of absentees, then we're going to be fine. Don't worry about us. You know what I mean? It feels like one of them, doesn't it? And yeah, massive, massive win for Liverpool. And we'll move on to the goals in a bit more detail. You touched on their goal a minute. We'll just spend a brief moment on that. Again, I've watched it in the watch along with a million comments coming through, of course. A few people criticising Kelleher. I'm personally not in that boat. Where do you stand?
I can see why they criticised him on terms of it's gone underneath him. It hasn't gone past him. So maybe if he was a bit quicker to go down, on terms of he might have got a bit more of his body behind it, maybe it goes out for a corner that we can then later defend rather than deflecting it behind him into the path of whoever's waiting on the back post. I mean, like, if you'd have offered... Was it Chong who had the shot? If you'd have offered him the chance to cross it straight to the back post and guaranteeing that it was going to make it there, I'm sure he chose that opportunity himself. So I can see why they've given that criticism. I don't personally, as you said, I don't personally subscribe to that myself. I think maybe he does better, but I wouldn't really put it as his fault sort of thing. I don't think anyone down that right-hand side, Liverpool's right-hand side, can really blame themselves for it. You can obviously suggest improvements in hindsight, because obviously hindsight's 2020 and all that sort of stuff. Everyone's an armchair critic when you're not there in the moment trying to do it. But I think if you look back at it, you can just kind of put it down to that it's some really good movement. It doesn't get picked up, which maybe it should have.
Like that.
But ultimately, just one of those things.
No, I tend to agree with you, mate. Yeah, and I think there are little, if you're being really sort of nitpicky, there are a couple of moments, as you say, probably Endo not going with him and Kelleher maybe, but ultimately I'm not going to apportion blame massively to that, because...
Especially because we win it.
And also goals can be scored by opposition teams. Sometimes they just happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes they can play well as well.